right, this video is for those of you who bought the green ball for me. There are a couple that we ran through it really, really fast, so I just wanted to make sure you understood some of the concepts and ideas behind it. So let me see, make sure y'all can see me. I think we're good to go. Yes. So the fascia that connects the front and back interfaces through that pelvic space. And the pelvis is just these two bones. You have a right side and a left side that connect in the middle by the sacrum, by that kind of tailbone, and then the coccyx is your true tailbone. Some of us get twisted, some of us get tight from holding babies, or I tend to slouch. So what the fascial ball can do is kind of help that mobility and help those tissues, especially postpartum. I got this from Carolyn Anthony, the center method, so I'll give her credit for this. And then I've adapted it a little bit to some of the PT things that we have done together. So I always start with sitting on the ball. So you're gonna find your middle, put it right between your sit bones. If this is too aggressive, you can find one of those soft squishy ones like I tend to use with you guys. So something a little more pliable, especially really early postpartum. I'd say even before 8-12 weeks, I would give this time, especially with a perineal tear or scarring or something like that. So fascia responds to slow, long holds. I always liken it to cotton candy. And places that don't get movement are kind of like gunky, stuck cotton candy. So as we start breathing, that's why I start with breathing, we get this natural piston, diaphragm descends, belly rises, pelvic floor drops. And then if you add a little bit of that guided imagery, thinking about those sit bones being like those bottom of your butt cheeks, tailbones in the back, and pubic bones in the front. If you think about just letting that soften, you're not really like stretching or wrenching anything. You're just allowing that tissue to kind of relax and then find where you are on the ball. Find your posture, let go. I tend to hold. This is something I have some of my ladies do, those of us who tend to be on all the time, which is definitely my personality the more I own a business. So I always start with 2 to 3 minutes. Fascia responds to that slow, long stretch, so 3 to 5 if you have the time, and there are certain parts in the body that you will find more benefit from in terms of how it feels and just where you tend to be stickier. So from this position, I'm gonna lay diagonal or sit diagonal. You can roll up and down that sacrum and just shift across. My right side's actually tighter today. So I'm gonna just roll up and down. And you're not trying to find a trigger point. This is not really a trigger point release. This is more fascial. We're just trying to get all that gunk and all that connected tissue that envelopes the muscles and slides between the muscles. You're gonna try to get those fibers a little bit more lubricated, if you want to think about that. From there, you can roll back. That sit bone is where your hamstrings and even your adductors attach. So working into that inner thigh, working into the back of the legs. I like rolling, if y'all can see me, and getting that IT band or that TFL, which is really the muscle that kind of connects to that IT band that gets really sticky. And then working on holding. So once again, this shouldn't be uncomfortable. You shouldn't be cringing away. From there, we can do a couple belly things, or I like working up to the back. So I kind of tend to start bottom and work my way up and then work my way around. So let's see if I can get in position. So we're gonna stretch that left side. And what I wanted to show you is just the softness of my belly and see if I can actually let it go. So you're gonna kind of just find that little hook and just let your belly go and see if you can kind of breathe. I'll put my hand up here. Breathe into that side body and let all those contents, especially if you have a DRA, diastasis recti, or 10 to grip. And then what I really like doing is working into that side oblique. I feel it on my ribs. If you have a shorter torso, you may just find a spot that's more comfortable. And then rolling into kind of that front belly. So I like getting into kind of a frog leg position and then working on pulling. I don't know if you can kind of see where it is. It's like pulling my abs to the middle. And then because I'm talking, I'm breathing, but working into letting that go. And then you can work into that psoas. I'll show you on this side. Sometimes I'll do it with that leg up because you can kind of put some slack in that belly. And then work into that upper rib cage. Most of the time y'all know where you need to work from me putting my hands on you and where you feel sticky. But in this position, you can just work into breathing, relaxing, kind of getting a sense of where you are in your body. Most of us tend to just be busy and not feel. So from there, you can continue to do both sides. I kind of just tend to move where intuitively I'm like, I need it. But my favorite is my mid back. So putting that between your shoulder blades and then either arching and kind of opening. And then you can kind of get a little core work and pulling yourself back up, watching for diastasis. If that's too aggressive on your tummy, kind of play with that. You can just hold and do kind of an isometric. I'm really not working too hard. My hands are doing a lot of the work. If that's too aggressive, once again, get that softer ball. And then I like doing, and this is for all my breastfeeding moms or anybody who works at a computer. I know those are two varied topics, but opening up where you're getting some chest movement. And then extending. And then I like working on my rib cage, opening here. I like doing a robot. And then I would probably support my head just to let some of that slack through that anterior fascia not pull quite as much on my tummy because I do have a diastasis. But for those of you who have that green ball, hopefully that's helpful. Like I said, a lot of times we go through our topic in the session really fast, trying to fill that hour as much as I can for your time and for your benefit. If this is helpful, let me know, and I'll see y'all next time you're in clinic.